Ahoy, swabs! Captain Jeff the Pirate here at your service. And welcome to another episode of Captain Jeff Reviews and Questions Adventure Time. Today's episode, Graybles 1000 Plus. This be a very interesting episode. Once again, it features our old pal Cuber. He be on board his spaceship, and he be wanting to look at an old memory. But then we see, what's this? There be some kind of space wedding going on. To which he decides to crash it. Literally. He flies his ship in so close it knocks the bride out of her spacesuit, and she's flung off into the dark, gaping maw of space. So naturally, this demands retaliation by the space crystal people suit things. They shoot him down. They shoot down his ship, to which he has to escape from and save the Graybles that he has with him. Now, this be weird because this episode, it features the Graybles, but it also features what's going on in the present time. So here's what we first, before all the space wedding happens, we see back in the Wage to pass someplace. He has a sister named Tuber, and he be Cuber, and they be younglings, and he be going and exploring every place, and he about to be chased by some creature, so don't know how that was going to work out, but it looked interesting. And then, as he proceeds to go across this new planet that he's been crashed on because of the alien wedding party, we see a whole bunch of other Graybles from our favorite 2-0 duo and the other citizens of the Land of Ooh. Alright, so here's what. While he be running, he says, "Applesauce with trying to guess the theme. Your pal Cuber just wants to live." So yeah, he says he don't bother looking for the connected theme. He's just showing the Graybles to pass while he's evading capture and killing. The first Grayble shows Finn digging a hole in the ground, and it be to bury some kind of cannon which they got from a wizard they beat. Apparently, whatever you use this cannon on, whatever you think, it becomes reality. Arr. The second Grayble we see is the Ice King wakes up with a broken leg and has to snap it back into place. And it be Gunter had broken it entirely out with a brick. The third Grayble, I saw it, but I didn't like this one because in this Grayble we see Princess Bubblegum. Here's what. After the episode The Coolar and the PAJAMA War, we see that she is now respecting her citizens' privacy and letting them make mistakes and living their lives. But this episode completely undoes that. Actually, there'll be some speculation if this episode, if it be after that, or if it be sometime intertwined with the previous episode of Jake the Brick, based on what she's wearing. I looked up this information on the Wikipedia, because I didn't notice it the first time I watched through. Anyway, yeah, so she now be spying on her citizens because she has dental implants that track all their every movements and can hear what they say. Oi, Princess Bubblegum, why? Alright, so then after that, we see the final Grayble. And it be harkening back to the first Grayble that we saw. Hubert is about to be eaten by this monster thing when his sister Tuber throws a rock at it and startles it. She then gives him a rock, to which he throws at it, and it scares off. And she says, "Ye can be anything you want, Cuber. You can be... Cuber has to do to be a hero. You can do that." So that would be the final Grayble we see. Now, what does that have to do with the main episode? Well, after getting shot down, he's on the planet. So here's what happened. Well, the first Grayble, that was Finn and Jake. He goes to where you see the treehouse, but in the world that he's crashed on, he's next to this very, very big, very huge, tall tree, and off in the distance you see this weird icy mountains, snowy kingdom. So, we have reason to believe that this episode he be on the land of Oo. So he be digging, and he finds the wand, which shoots him out of the hole. When he lands, after that, he breaks his leg, to which he uses the second Grayble to learn how to fix his leg. It be painful enough that causes him to black out. He then regains consciousness. And meanwhile, the whole time, these aliens are still looking for him because of the wedding he ruined. So then, to avoid them, he decides to go and hide in a nearby watery cave. And in this cave, there be a house. And we be hearing some kind of twang, 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 banjo playing music coming from within. We have reason to believe, I believe that this be the home of Marceline. This is where we learn about the third Grayble, about Starchy, about the tooth tracking. In this one, Starchy, apparently he's figured out about the tracking system, to which he now has yanked out his tooth, put it inside a grass lard, and has faked his own demise, or he wanted it to be moving around so the princess would track him that way, so then he runs off on his own. But it killed the space lard, because by the end of that Grayble, we see Cuber is back there. And there'd be this mound of dirt, and there'd be a tombstone that'd be for Starchy. Anyway, he pulls out the tracking beacon and says for SOS. And here comes a gumball guardian, only it's not a gumball machine. It looked huge, like a giant skyscraper. And it looks like one of those coin prize things you put in and you get the little plastic ball you pop open and you get the keychain or whatever inside. And it's a good thing it comes along too, because then that's when the aliens show up and start blasting at him and they start chasing him. They even get inside the gumball prize guardian. To which one of the things blasts all his Graybles and there's this huge memory explosion. To which he then has to use the only Grayble he has left. The purple thing he has always on his hat. Which then shows about him being a hero, so then he gets an idea. So then, as the aliens are approaching to try to stop him again, we see the groom still be with the rest of the party. But then all of a sudden, Cuber shows up onto the ship. One of the 3 ships that landed, knocks out one of the guards, and then shoves the other guy off the ship saying, "I can be a hero." Now, before this gets any further, I just need to figure this out. He's thinking that he's being a hero. So, he literally crashes a wedding, breaks open a pressurized suit which sends the bride flying into space to presumably die. And now he just killed the husband. Now look, I get it. I get him trying to run away and not get killed by all of them space people things. But, yeah, so he just killed an innocent bystander, and then another innocent bystander. And so he thinks he's some kind of hero. Boy, the definition of hero has gotten very loose. Anyway, getting back on track. He flies the ship through the snowy, icy kingdom, and there'll be this giant creature thing chasing after him. And then turns around, it's a giant beard that has wings, and has the nose and the teeth, and it sounds like Simon/Evergreen/the Ice King. But it has the rubies for eyes or something, I don't know. You don't see anything else aside from the nose, the mouth, the beard. And 2 of the rubies are there, but the third one, on the far left, it'd be missing. Back aboard the ship, Cuber be back, and he's talking to the audience again. And then he talks to his sister and says that he loves her. And apparently she has remained the same size as when they were children. She now fits inside a very small compartment. Maybe about the size of maybe his skull here. She hasn't gotten any bigger or smaller, just remained that same size. And thus ends the episode. Now I found this episode, like I said, very interesting. Now, here's what. When he be getting the wand, he'd be saying how Jake said, bobble, bobble. Which, alright, so at the first part of the episode, when Cuber was a baby, he said that. Then, in the Grayble, Jake said, bobble, bobble. And then when he dug up the wand, he said, bobble, bobble, like the dead would say. Alright, so, and based on what the tree fart looks like, from what we got from the episode of Lemon Hope, he be on and he be somewhere in the future. So apparently a lot of time has passed, and these Graybles be, I don't know, clips, memories, videos, morals. I guess it's like, if I was to make a guess, I'd say it's like when you videotape something, like in the year 1992, and then it's the year 2012, so 20 years have passed, and then you find this VHS and you're like, how do I play this thing? What's on here? Arr. So apparently time has passed on and things have gotten weird, or weirder. Alright, so the treehouse has now grown. That was confirmed by Lemon Hope, Part 2. The beard creature. This can either be Simon, who has something that's gone horribly wrong and Betty was unable to save him, or there be some new creature on the loose in the Ice Kingdom. Arr. Thirdly, we know Marceline is still alive because she be the vampire, and we know that be her house. But we don't know, well, we don't know if she's still alive. That is her house, but we don't know if that's her and they are playing the banjo, though that would kind of strongly lean towards her doing that. I mean, it makes the most sense. Alright, so there'll just be one thing I have to be pointing out. Alright, based on what we know from, like, Simon and Marcy, and various other parts of the Adventure Time universe, we know that this series we know that Earth is or is Earth. And it takes place 1,000 years after the Mushroom War. Now, this show started in 2010, so if the Mushroom War had started roughly 5 years ago, then, the show would be taking place in the year 3010. But, based on the size of the tree, the title card being 1,000 plus, then I have reason to believe that Cuber and his Graybles be like memories of the past or whatever, and, so I have reason to believe that this episode, and Cuber, he exists in the year 4010, or sometime onward. That would explain what has passed and gone on in the series. So my question is, are we going to see, what specifically happened to cause the giant hole to be blown off of, that giant chunk to be blown off of the Earth? What caused food and candy to be floating around in space? Are we going to see, anything else that happens between now and the possible future? Now, we know, apparently, so from what we know, somehow, the Ice Kingdom is now under control of some giant beard creature thing. We don't know where Finn and Jake are. We don't know if Princess Bubblegum is still around, but apparently her gumball prize guardian things are still doing their job or whatever. So I thought this was a fairly good episode. It showed more of what will happen after the series is at an end, to put it. I mean, most shows focus on establishing a story at the beginning and giving us some good background information. But this one's showing us that there will come a time when the series will end, and be giving us little sneak peeks at the future for how the ending will be. Also, we learned about some of the events going on in the Candy Kingdom. Now, if you look on the Wikipedia for the Adventure Time, here's what. So, Princess Bubblegum, she'd be wearing a t-shirt that says, "I love Bunny." This be the reference to the episode Jake the Brick, when he's narrating the story of the bunny. Now, either this Grayble that we see of her, when she's tracking Starchy with the teeth, this would be either she's doing the tracking thing before the events of the Coolar and the Pajama War, to the point where then she resigns her ways. Or this is sometime after, and she just still has the t-shirt, and she's reverted back to her old, overly protective, over-secretive ways. And then Starchy finds out about this tracker and has to dispose of it. So then, with thinking that Starchy is dead, did she make another Starchy? Because she just loves to clone her citizens. Well, almost all of her citizens. Yeah. Look, at some point in the future, there will be a video where we analyze what Princess Bubblegum is about. I will try to work on that. Alright, so overall, I'd be giving this episode a 1.5 thumbs up. Alright, so that's all the time we got for this episode. So until next time, this has been Captain Jeff, thanking you for watching. me review and question adventure time. And as always, arr.